Brad Williams, XL Primed. How about find golfer information by dates? We have two dates. We're going to use the filter function as we have in the past. We're just going to use a little creativity here. Filter, oh, you know how we do this. Filter allows you to filter a range of data based on criteria. Previous tutorial, we set some explicit dates. Here are the dates. We want golfer information starting 3/5/29. That means greater than or equal to. So you can include the date, less than or equal to. So anything in between here, show me. Otherwise, just put no data. What's the catch here? If you understand what it's called discrete or Boolean logic, we have this star. It looks like multiplication, but here it means and. That's just the implicit interpretation. This means if the date is between this date and this date, include it. If this had a plus sign, it's going to be or. It wouldn't apply here because logically it's just senseless. That's the interpretation. And you have to define exactly what we're doing, as stated here. B5, which is the array, and I said Boolean. There's that word Boolean. I don't like Boolean. I use discrete. Discrete is the same thing as Boolean. I just don't like the word Boolean. And then if empty, put no data. What am I talking about? Here we have the date, the array. And that is stretched one further than necessary. No penalty. That's just sloppiness on my part. This should change to 14. This should change to 14. This should change to 14. And if we're going to do this, do it correct. In terms of the anatomy, go back. We have the array, which is this list. I don't like the word array. Why? Well, because if you're familiar with the layout within Excel, we're at nearly 40 years since Excel was introduced. Excel uses this word array. To me, it's a list. And the newer tools now are trying to steer away from array. We have this spill feature that even though it says an array, they just want to move away from everything array related. Old days, Control-Shift-Enter. We'd have to use Control-Shift-Enter, which is a fixed array, and it's a pain in the rear. But structurally, I like the calculating part of Excel. Thumbs up, all the way around. But it's all of the junk that has been piled on in 37 years that just makes life miserable sometimes. It's too much. There's that 80-20 rule, and you're only going to use 20% of this stuff. 80% of it is, it's just, well, what's the latest trend? Well, we're going to throw that into Excel. So the new tools are trying to steer you away from thinking it of an array. Why? Well, yeah, look, they're good tools. I'm going to say thumbs up. But then we have all the stuff in the background that maybe Microsoft's working on removing some of this legacy stuff without losing the existing older functions. That's an impossible task. The point is, I don't like using this word array. I'll use list. Sometimes I'll use range. Include, here's your include. What is it? It's this Boolean array. What do I mean by that? Here's the and function. And then we have the no data. I know I kind of go off on these long explanations, but if you're unfamiliar with the internal workings of Excel, you're going to need to know how to get from step to step. Here is basically what I just explained. You can read it on your own. In terms of all of this F9 stuff, well, just go in and experiment, right? Go in and hit array, hit F9. Well, what is that? It's the blue area, and those are dates. I don't know why it says 382 here. Oh, sorry. The 382 is this right here. And the 472 is the date, and 67. This is the array. This is the entire thing. I don't know why it's highlighted in blue. That is the entire array. So you hit F9. Be sure to exit. Okay, if you're going to hit an F9, okay, if you hit F9 here and you move on to this cell, and I'll show you. But you can't do that. All right, hit F9, hit F9. You have to hit the array. Okay, hit F9. Because the filter function, this thing is live. So if you go over here, it's going to change. You see that? In some cases, the point is always exit if you hit F9. The include over here, you see this right here? F9. And it's going to give you this output right here, trues and falses. 0, false, 1, true. For what? The dates. Okay, isn't that what we're shooting for? So what's true? 331 is between the two dates. 426 is not. 0 are all falses. You see where the 1 is? It's going to go all the way down here. 48 is what? 48's between, but 35 is not and 513 is not. That's how it's reviewed. Now, in terms of, you see this 0, 1? That's exactly what I just showed you. But if you want to see internally, just go in and you're going to have to highlight it. Okay, between the parentheses and hit F9. And you get true, 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 false, false, false. Okay? For what? For some of these dates. Now, you're going to have to go over here and you're going to see F9. Why? Because some dates are going to be true and some false. You're going to have to find the two trues. Okay? True, false, 0. True, true, 1. True, false, 0. That's how Excel reviews this. Everything in Excel has to turn into a number. Everything, excluding dates. That's why the text function is such a challenge. But in terms of calculations, Excel is going to convert this over into ones and zeros, as shown down here, as I showed earlier. Here, include F9. We're only going to include the trues in B5 to D14, and then the filter is going to show that stuff. Brad Williams, Excel Prime.